Ah, another black pearl in my chest. A feast of energy for my soul. Much obliged.
So, you're Toya of the East.
Just Toya, if you please. This ocean has been my home for longer than I ever lived in Japan.
You're the assassin who challenged the Dread Captain and became the ship's cook.
You seem to know a lot about me, when I don't even know your name.
Defy Monecato. I'm the one who pulled you out of Ignatius' jaws.
A promising start. I look forward to seeing you work, Defy Monecato.
Welcome back, ship cook.
Ah, Marty. So I was the one to receive one of your spares. A wise choice.
You must get used to your new pearl quickly. The training deck is ready for you.
Understood. I will speak to Estelle and head there at once.
Toya, may I ask, what brought you to the Marley?
A cooking contest.
Ah, on this ship?
What? No, back on Soulspire. I'd been there for some time after I lost my crew and captain at Madre Grande. I was cooking just for myself, perfecting my technique. I was focusing on winning the annual cooking contest at Bonnie's Galley. Then Mordechai comes along. Cocky, throwing out challenges left and right. He said, if he beat me in this year's contest, I had to join his crew.
And? Did he win?
He came in last. I had never seen such horrendous cooking. I knew then that if I did not join his crew, they'd have to endure his culinary travesties.
You should have given him lessons too.
I tried. But his lack of talent was a challenge too steep, even for me.
So, you chose to bless this charred body with another black pearl. I suppose I should thank you.
Teresa La Ciega. You know I grew up on stories about you and your escapades.
A reputation hard-earned. One does not desert the Inquisition lightly. And who are you? Huh? I do not need eyes to see that you are new.
Defy Monecato. The Marley made me her navigator.
Ha ha ha! Another fool to lead the blind. Very well. We will see what she is made of soon enough, eh, Marley?
Sharpshooter. As always, you notice me watching.
Is the training deck ready? I feel the ash has settled in my bones.
Of course, sharpshooter.
Teresa, may I ask, how did Mordechai get you to join his crew?
He didn't do anything. I decided to take up roost here. I wanted to see this upstart captain and his fate-meddling ship for myself.
I guess they had a few things to say about that.
Mordecai didn't protest. Not that he would have swayed me. I was actually a bit annoyed that he got used to me so quickly. The Marley was more what I expected. Not too fond of my scrutinizing gaze on her soul.
Or all that tobacco ash on my deck.
Leave a woman her vices, will you? Anyway, I would have left after a year. Or 10. Only Mordecai roped me in.
Who wouldn't want a famous Inquisition deserter in their crew?
You sound just like him. Always trying to charm me, the old codger.
Do you regret staying?
I have enough regrets for a lifetime. And despite my best efforts, I've grown attached to this crew. Just don't tell anyone. Got it?
My lips are sealed.
Thanks for that, Pearl girl. My soul's bursting with energy again.
So you're Lady, eh? The soul botanist. The girl that stole the secrets of Soulspire Academy.
Ah, yeah. You're talking to the right bush. Or half bush, rather. There's still bits of meat and bone in here. And who are you? Hey? Can't recall seeing your face before.
A Fia Manicato. I'm your new navigator. Though the definition of that role is ever-changing.
Figuring it out as you go, eh? You'll fit right in.
Welcome back, Ship Doctor. The training deck is ready for you, so you can get used to your new pearl.
All right, I'll go and limber up my roots.
So how did you become the Marley's ship doctor?
You could say I grew into the role. Not having any of that, eh? Oh well. I came on board right after I broke into the library of Soulspire Academy. Didn't really get along with the big heads there, so I took what I could and legged it. The Marley happened to be in port, so I snuck on board and hid below deck.
In my experience, one does not sneak onto a ghost ship undetected.
I came prepared. Soul masking leaves, entrancing pollen. Managed to hide for weeks down there, even from Estelle.
Were you found in the end?
Nope. One night, I snuck up on deck for fresh air. I saw a skelly, cracks, and dark spots all over it. Recognized it at once. Black brine. Lethal sickness even for the undead. Half the crew were already infected. I knew I could cure it, but not without giving myself away. So I snuck into Mordechai's cabin, sat on his chest, put a blade to his throat, and made him an offer. I would cure his crew if he let me stay on board. He had a good laugh right there. Told me if I could fix his crew, he'd make me a ship doctor.
That's one hell of a job interview.
Quick and sharp, just how I like it.
My soul returns to its crusted frame, and I hear I thought the depths had gotten us at last. Ha ha ha!
Not yet, John Mercury. Though from what I hear, you have no fear of the darkness below.
How could I? I have Sir Reginald here to guide me. Say hello, Sir Reginald.
Ah, of course. Ahoy there, Sir Reginald.
And who are ye, if I might ask so myself?
A Fia Manicato, newly hired navigator, at your service.
A navigator, eh? How fares the navigator's work on a stubborn ship like this? Ha!
Now, shipwright. There's plenty of work for everyone. Speaking of which, I will need you to visit the training deck.
Limber up the old salty bones, eh? I see. Well then, Sir Reginald, to the training deck we march. Fia, what brings you here?
I'd like to hear your tale. How did you get on the Marley?
Where to begin? I certainly got my sea legs long before Mordechai fished us out the ocean.
Yes, that's very apparent. Wait, what? The captain fished you out of the sea?
Sure did. I'd been wandering the depths for a long while with Sir Reginald here. And one day, we came across a dangling anchor chain in the middle of aquatic nowhere. Right, there were a couple of hammerhead sharks milling about, but they're mostly a nice bunch. Sir Reginald, you can't project from one hammerhead to all hammerheads you'll ever meet. Anyways, we saw the chain, and it was such an odd sight in the middle of nowhere that I grabbed onto it.
And then?
Suppose the Marley felt the tug and just started to reel me in. I considered letting go, but the thought of getting onto a ship once again was just too tempting. Aye, and I sort of got tangled up with the chain, maybe a bit. Once I was up on deck, Captain Mordechai approached me and said I owed him for damaging his anchor. He argued since I so readily carried one on my back anyways, we'd surely come to an arrangement. Truth be told, I thought I'd only stay until the next harbour. But after getting to sail on the Marley, It's hard to imagine ever working on another ship again.
Awake again. Très bien. I must inspect the cannons at once. So the mighty Gael Lebris does not slow down. Is it true you once sailed a galleon all on your own? Ha! That I did. I wrote a poem about it. Maybe you've heard it?
Storm. You and I fought over the blue. I prevailed, but so did you. You moved on with grayish hue, left me behind. I long after you.
But where are my manners? You are new here. You know my name, so may I ask yours? Aethia Manicato, navigator on this illustrious treasure hunt. A navigator? Well, as long as you get us close to where my cannon must fire, we will work well together.
Canoness, before you bury yourself in work, you must visit the training deck.
Ah, Maui. You fear I am rusted? I will descend into your bowels and prove you wrong. Gael, can I ask, what brought you aboard the Marley? For me, the Marley was a respite, a retreat. A retreat? Ugh. I've been trying to face my demons more often lately, so I'll try to tell you. I was in hiding from the Inquisition for a while, but as you might imagine, that was difficult given my size. Why would somebody like you hide from a few Inquisition goons? Strength comes not just from the body, Aethia. The soul has an equal part in it, you know. And when the soul needs mending, the body does too. And things are better for you now? Let's say they haven't become any worse. Anyway, the Captain came to a bar I was taking refuge in. A stroke of luck, then? No. I was paying for my room by betting entire pirate crews to arm wrestle me. Of course, as my notoriety grew, I was in danger of being found again by the Inquisition. But the Captain found me first. He challenged me. If he beat me, I'd join his crew. And if not, he'd still pay me a year's worth of canoness salary. And? Well, I'm here, n'est-ce pas?
Can I get my hands on her?
It's so bright here. You gentlewomen, kindly blow out the candles, if you will.
Candles? You mean the sun?
Upon my revival, I was immediately confronted with a somewhat dim individual who thought it possible to quench the light of the sun.
Those must be your famous memoirs you're composing. Pincus van Breswald, quartermaster of this cursed voyage.
Ah, so you do know a little about what is what. Then who are you, if not a severely neglectful steward?
Aethia Manicato, navigator and advisor on this eventful treasure hunt.
A navigator, huh? I wasn't even aware we needed one.
To this day, I'm still unsure what benefits you bring to the table yourself, Quartermaster. Would you like to show us at the training deck?
Ha! I will not deny anyone a demonstration of my brilliance. Aethia, I'm sure you came to experience the telling of my arrival on the Marley.
Well, I was actually just walking by.
Why, I hear you ask, would such a refined, noble gentleman seek hospitality on such a comparably shabby pirate voyage?
No, again, I only happened to be walking by.
Oh, no, don't be shy. It is a good question. See, it all began the day I was born, January the 26th, 1615, which by now is a much-discussed topic in many of my memoirs.
You have multiple memoirs?
Of course, I very early on decided that one such volume wouldn't suffice. But let's not get sidetracked. On that fateful day, I vowed to live a life full of adventure and to record my exploits.
You vowed that on the day you were born.
Well, maybe 14 years later, but who is keeping track, really?
I thought that's precisely what you're doing in your memoirs.
Yes, well observed. Now I've lost myself. Why are you here again?
I actually was just passing by, so no real reason.
Perfect. I don't have time anyway. See, there are already 3 more chapters I have to write down. The first concerns itself with...
Don't worry about explaining it. I don't want to hold you back. See you, Pincus.
How very considerate. Goodbye, Afia.
Good morning.
Good morning. You must be Quentin Albers, the treasure hunter. You really do have a golden skull.
Ah, yes. The head. One of the less interesting bits of my possessions. Say, how much for that sword in your chest? I'll give you, let's say, 100 cursed rupees.
I'm afraid it's not for sale.
Ah, that's what they all say. I'll file that one under negotiations ongoing.
The navigator needs that sword for her power, treasure hunter.
New navigator, you say? You sure she's not a spy here to steal my, our treasures?
As much as one can be among pirates. Regardless, we need you to head down to the training deck.
Yeah, I'll gladly throw the skull around a bit. But I expect a good treasure hunt soon, you hear?
I wonder, Quentin, what brought you onto the Marley? I always saw treasure hunters as more solitary figures.
Indeed. I used to sail around the lost Caribbean on a little sloop, fishing and trading what I found. I found my niche as a sort of treasure peddler, if you will.
Was the Marley one of your customers?
Yeah. Or rather, the captain was. Ghost ships in general tend to be good patrons. Cursed crews have interests in goods few others appreciate. And they often own objects that conjure my interests just as much.
Ah, so Mordechai had something you wanted.
Indeed he did. His black eye. Captain kept insisting that there was nothing special about it, but believe me, I know special when I see it. So, I made him an offer.
Which he refused.
He said it wasn't for sale, but if I became part of the crew, he'd one day show me where he found it. Hence I joined, presuming it would take me maybe a week until I pried that secret from him. That was almost 3 decades ago. Oh, damn. Well, no matter. I'm sure I'll figure it out someday. Until then, I'll have to continue fishing.